because I forgot to record. All right, now we're recording. So I may repeat myself quickly. Mental and physical wellness and agreement on that is the one of the answers. So what's the golden nugget, or what's one of the golden nuggets of doing this practice is what I asked. Yeah, releasing tension, someone said. So I want to kind of use one of the golden nuggets to feed our practice today. And then the other thing that I mentioned was open chest, broad back. So we'll be doing a little bit of both. I have my lighter weights out. If you don't have them, you'll be fine without anything. And then I have a strap, and we've talked about you can use a kitchen towel kind of rolled up on the diagonal. You could use a stretchy TheraBand from a PT appointment. I just have my yoga strap. So we are going to use that a little bit today. And again, you could pretend you have it and probably get a lot of benefit, but it might be, especially if you're newer, it might be easier to have something. I've used a belt, I've used my bathrobe tie. So lots of different ways you can use it. So if you're wondering, what does Ingrid think the golden nugget is? I'm going to tell you. I think it's embodiment. So we can do whatever we want here. And if we bring ourselves, our mind into our body, we're going to have an experience that's different than our cardio. Well, can't really say really different than the cardio, but the faster I move, the harder it seems like for me kind of to keep in my body. So it's really recognizing what's good about yoga, right? Is kind of bringing our awareness inward. Can you feel this? Can you feel that? And then going beyond the big stretchy sensation, can we feel even more nuances? And also, can we just let that go sometimes? So there's a nice balance. But you probably let it go in most of your life. So when you come to class, that's what I feel like is one of my primary jobs, is to bring us into our body. Because when we're in our body, we tend to be a little more grounded, a little more rational, a little more, that tension seems to go away that Deb was talking about. So we're going to start on your feet. We're going to do our check-in on your feet. Okay, can everybody hear me okay now though still? Just making sure. The sound was breaking up for somebody. Okay, well, let's come up onto the feet. Good. And I'm just going to have my strap in my hand. And one of you talked about or requested, sometimes we have a regular check-in on our back. And so what does it feel like if we check in on our feet? So I invite you to spread your toes apart, to feel your feet on your carpeting or on your floor or on your mat, wherever you're at. And then bend your knees a little bit so you can really start to sink into feeling the feet. And then take a few breaths. So taking a little deeper breath, fully exhaling. One of the recent classes, we talked about having a little bit of tone in the belly and still driving the breath downward, and how that opens things in the chest a little bit more. So we have a little tone in the belly, deeper breath. Oh, feel that nice opening in the chest or ribs. I think we did that last week here, right? So let's do that a couple more times. If you're comfortable, you could close your eyes or just bring your gaze downward, so that it's a soft check-in. I'm going to soften my knees again. Notice where there might be some catches or tension in my body as I breathe. A couple more breaths. How does your jaw feel? How do the shoulders, the rib cage, even the heart space. Do you feel fatigued just trying to stand up? Sometimes I'll get to a pose or get to my practice and feel pretty tired to try to stand upward. And I think you'll see how that probably will be different in 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and take your strap. And without pulling on my strap or anything, we can kind of do a little bit of practice here of if we were to really open, I'm going to give a lot of side body because I don't have two cameras, but side body here. If we really pulled our shoulder blades back and they kind of pinch into each other. So you can try that. It feels okay. Like I kind of like really opening the chest here and I'm getting just to the point of, nothing hurts in my back. And then there's the opposite, which we're real familiar with, is rounding, shoulder blades really separating and but the chest really collapsing then in on itself. And then let's do that a couple more times, just real lightly. You'll notice I'm going pretty slowly and then rounding. It's almost like doing cat cow standing, right? Although I don't pinch when I do cat cow. So that computer work we're doing, the driving we might do, these muscles in particular, right, can kind of get stuck, those ones on the back especially, but and the ones on the front too. If they're like this all the time, then they're real short, and the ones in the back get super long. So I love these practices for finding that middle ground, opening these up, letting lengthen these, and then finding strength in the back. Let's take your strap. And I've taken my feet a little bit further apart. And I'm just going to bend my elbows. So notice I've got a substantial bend, but not this much bend. And I'm going to pull on that strap right here at thighs. And then release. And then pull. And then release. And again, side body view, just because I'm starting from a spot where the shoulder blades aren't pulled in too much, but they're also not pulled forward. So I have adjusted my arm a little bit. Again, feeling your feet, maybe soften your knees, pulling and releasing, pulling and releasing. Good. And then release that. And then let's take a roll down. So some of you, this will feel really nice. It's really great. Others of you, the low back maybe needs to keep a little bit of straight quality to it. So you could come a little bit more forward if you wanted to, a little more hinging at the waist. But others of you, if you'd like, go ahead and roll down. So take chin toward the chest. And then feel your spine and feel the muscles along the back and maybe in the belly as you go forward. And then let your head go and let your neck release here best you can. And also the shoulders, right? The shoulders get to be real loose. And then take in that deeper breath. Full exhale, and then we'll find our way up. So Movement Lab, all about kind of this sense of curiosity, right? How does that feel? How do I feel in my body? 5 minutes in, a little more connected, feel the floor. Maybe it's easier to stand. Let's take our attention back to our strap. So again, little bend in the elbows. And then let's take that up, shoulder height. And then let's come back, a little bit of a row here. So my elbows are going to stay a little bit higher than they might in the Sunday class. We do a lot of low rows there. Shoulder blades, if we push way out, they have to come around. Good. So your rhythm could be faster. Just remember, kind of one of our goals is staying in the body. So if we go super fast, if I give you too many cues, If there's a lot of distraction, it's harder to stay probably present to each pull here. And that's okay. We just keep coming back, just like in meditation, right? Just keep coming back. Oh, yeah, starting to feel that work in my upper body. Anybody else feeling that? And then bring the arms down again. So that felt like really nice. I'm going to take that roll down again. You could have your feet closer together if you'd like, or keep them kind of this medium distance. Soften my knees, roll down, just because that felt so nice the first time. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Go ahead and take that deeper breath. When we get upside down, I feel pretty confident you're going to get that breath into the chest and into the upper back. So nice. Come on up. All right. So let's take that. Let's do a little bit with the legs. Turning your feet out. I'm going to take them a little bit wider, turning the toes out, and feeling the feet again as I bounce the knees, and then coming down into our sumo squat. Nice. All the way down. Again, I can feel my toes. Might notice if my weight is a lot in my heels, and make sure I can feel the ball of my foot and toes. Maybe even pressing into that part of the body. Should we add a little strap work? Let's come down here. Bending the elbows, come up to shoulder height. There we go. Giving a little tug there. You can pull as much or as little as you'd like. Last one here. Press down to come up. Getting a little shaky. That was kind of fun. Good. Let's come down and back up. So noticing again, do shoulders pull forward here? Can you find that spot where you're in the middle? The shoulder, top of the shoulder bone finds its way to the middle, not forward, not back. Going to continue a couple more like that, coming down and back up. Holding here. And check out where my weight in the feet is. Toes, balls of the feet, heels, and then coming up. Nice. All right, back to parallel feet right underneath you. Breath in, breath out. My heart rate went up a little bit with some of that work. Softening your knees. Doing a quick comparison to a few moments ago when we started our check-in here. Does it feel different? Good. Let's take that strap out in front. I'm going to do a little work with the ankles now. We didn't lift the ankles at all. So let's alternate. Lifting the ankles. Nice broad base. So the ball of the foot, toes. And then let's kind of switch in midair. You could hang on to the back of a chair here, back of your sofa, fingertips to a wall. There's a little balancing happening. I'm a little pull on my strap, nothing too extreme. Good. Feet come down, heels down, and then let's lift both heels up and back down. Nice. And then we've talked about how this gets a little tricky as we do the repetitions to keep our heels coming straight up, straight down. Sometimes we start to get a little wobbly. That foot goes outward, kind of roll to the outside of the foot. Arms getting a little tired. Keep relaxing in the neck and just notice the muscles that are holding my strap up. Good. And then coming back down. All right. Stepping the feet apart. Toes turning out. Let's start with our strap shoulder height. And you'll notice I have it a little bit broader because I'm going to start here now and come overhead and back down. Find that tone in your belly, even though we haven't specifically come to core. As your arms go overhead, tendency for your ribs to jut forward. So a little bit of pulling in around here can be really nice, and still letting the shoulders go up and come back down, go up and come back down. Come on up and stay there. Good. So I'm going to pull on that strap a little bit overhead, bend the elbows a little bit overhead. And again, how hard you work is up to you. How much do I pull on that strap? Good. Next time we're down, let's pause there. And then let's take that strap either down to the top of your head or just behind your head. Try not to move your head forward. Let the strap graze the back of the head. Really feeling my feet, my legs. Good. Coming up and all the way over. And let's put that strap down for a moment. And step your feet underneath you. Breath. Good. Again, so noticing easier to stand, maybe some tension or catches in the upper body or in the neck are gone. And then let's take that breath, again, a little tone in the belly. And then exhale, take the arms out and up. Good. Inhale, let's come forward. All the way forward, let the arms dangle. Nice deep breath. Exhale, bring your hands to your knees. Good. Let the neck be nice and easy. You might feel like your neck is nice and easy, almost looking forward. See if you can drop your gaze. Let the neck be nice and easy with your gaze toward the floor. Good. Your next inhale. So just following your breath, noticing where you are in your cycle. Inhale forward. Exhale, take the arms out and up. Inhale, arms down. Inhale, standing. Exhale, arms out and up. Belly pulls in a little bit. Shoulders have some freedom and strength today. Coming forward, inhale. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, forward, fold. Exhale. Inhale, arms come down. Exhale, arms out and up. Good. Inhale, forward. This time, finding a place for your hands and stepping your feet back. As many steps as you need to find your way to a downward dog-like position. So the hands become part of your balance, part of your grounding. The balls of the feet and the toes, you can see them back there. Go ahead and spread them out and really try to bring your weight back more toward your feet. We want the hands to be part of this, but probably like a 30% of my weight is on my hands. They're really pushing my weight all the way back over my feet. Lots of bend in the knees, completely permissible. We'd like to have that actually, especially if we're starting out today. Good, that deeper breath. And then bringing the knees down and letting the tops of your feet come to the floor. Good. That broad back and a wide back and open chest. How can we find that here in this position? Right? Again, our tendency might be to round everything or have things collapse in the chest, and then everything gets really broad in the back. So as you find your spot here, we're going to do cat cow, and that kind of exacerbates our theme, right, a little bit. So as we pull our belly in and round the spine, and then we round the upper back, we kind of go into that open back, but pretty hard to keep my chest open. I'm still going to kind of think about it. And then we come to the other one. Belly starts to move, pelvis moves, belly still has tone, but we have that lower back curving the other way. We have the chest curving the other way. So maybe a little bit easier to feel that open chest here. Get that easy neck in there again. Looking toward the floor, long neck. Ribs want to go forward a lot. And then let's come to your cat pose again. So we can go to the extremes, and yet we can kind of think about what's going on in the front, because I think you're probably a lot of your attention goes to the place that you're working. So can I, even in my cow pose, keep some width in the upper back? And then coming to neutral. And then let's come back, child's pose or something like that. You could come to seated as well. Let that deeper breath come in here. Full exhale. And then coming to hands and knees, go ahead and walk your feet back underneath you. Forward fold. We've been kind of playing with rolling up. And how when you come up, then you can kind of stack everything and find your way back to shoulders in their just right spot. Head right on top of the spine, not coming forward. Good. And then let's step your feet apart. So medium stride, stepping the feet apart. And then let's take that one side out. You can do whichever side you'd like, mirroring me or not. I'm gonna still work with those feet a little bit and the ankles. So we'll take our side angle pose. So the back foot turns in. Other classes we've talked about knee in line with the middle toes, in line with the hip, and we're kind of turning the body a little bit more toward this narrow end of the mat. But I'm not completely squaring off. Go ahead and bend that knee. Front knee bends, back leg stays really nice and straight, really nice and anchored. Good, so this exercise may be pretty easy for your chest to stay open, upper back stays open. Bringing the hands to the waist, you can reach the elbows out. Go ahead and pause in that bent knee position. My bent knee in line with my middle toes, best optimal place for the knee to stay. Good. And then I'm going to purposely take my belly, that low belly, a little bit more toward that front leg. and then tipping over. Tip over that front leg. Hand or elbow could come to your knee. Find that breath. So hear what's going on in the upper body for you, right? So we could all look toward the floor. Chest looking toward the floor. We could also spin the chest to open up toward the long side of your mat. Maybe that arm goes back, opening the palm. Nice, easy, open palm here. Top arm might come up. Reaching that back leg back. Top arm reaching out toward your screen, toward your monitor, and then swinging overhead. Shoulder gets to reach. Just notice what's going on with the chest, the upper back. One shoulder does one thing. One shoulder blade, scapula does a different thing. Coming up. And coming to center. Bring my feet in just a little bit, softening the knees. Chin toward the chest, letting the head have all of its weight forward, and then continuing to bring each section of the spine in into that forward fold with the belly pulling in. Nice deep breath. Good, letting the shoulders go, letting the head go. Again, that deep breath, you might notice when you're upside down that the breath still drive it down toward your belly button, but where do you feel that maybe some breath going on here? And when you're ready, coming upward. Good. So widening my stance a little bit again, just depends on length of your legs, things like that. So turning that other foot out, turning the back foot in. And then my hips, I'm going to start at a 45 degrees or so. And I'm just going to do that bending and straightening again, really anchoring the back foot. Our tendency as we bring the front knee forward might be to let that outside of our foot come up. See if you can find it, if it can stay down. Gluing the outside of the foot down back there. So you might think, oh, we're working this front ankle. We already did that actually. We are working it, but we're really looking for what's going on back there. Can we keep that leg nice and straight? Just an added bonus. So feeling our feet. As we come to pause, knee in line with the middle toes. Remember how we started at a 45? I'm just going to take that angle a little bit more toward my front leg. Tipping the pelvis over. Hand or elbow to the knee. I actually enjoy a little more openness in the front and back body when I use my hand as opposed to my elbow. I can still make this work. I really send my elbow down into the knee to help keep this open in the front. Then we took that arm upward. Soft palm upward here on the bottom arm. Arm out in front. And then swinging up, taking that shoulder blade up and over the head. Good. Coming upward, pressing down to come up. And then stepping your feet underneath you. Step to the top of my mat. Top of your space, wherever that is. Inhaling. Exhaling, arms out and up. Inhaling, forward fold. Exhaling, gorilla pose. Inhaling, forward fold. Exhaling, arms out and up. Inhaling, arms down. Exhaling, arms out and up. And inhaling forward. Exhaling, let's step back again to that downward dog position, planting the palms. Letting the head go. Shoulders and arms are busy. They're busy pressing us back. The shoulders are busy coming upward. We're letting the shoulder blades come up toward our ears. We're just going to see about broadness here. Broad in the upper back. What might that feel like in downward dog? Still pressing back and yet broad in the upper back. Breathe some life into that. And then coming down to hands and knees. I'm going to grab my weight. So really only needed one. Both are out here. Coming to your hands and knees. So one way we've been working with this ever since I started teaching, so 10 years ago, was to work with scapular stability, to work with the scapula, your shoulder blade, and bringing it into a more neutral place in the body. Like I said, it tends to be pulled forward for a lot of us. And as we age, we tend to start getting that rounding. And so the muscles back here, they're on a little bit of a vacation. So to kind of enliven them and find them back at the workplace, we found this way to work with that. So I'm going to bring my elbow in next to my body. And whether I have a weight or not, it's fine. You can do this with just a light fist. And I'll explain how to do that. So chest, center the chest toward the floor. Just bring my elbow in. Can you feel how there's some work there? As your shoulder blades finds its way onto the back. And then we can add a little load here by extending the elbow. So the elbow isn't moving except that it's hinging. I'm not rowing. And my shoulder blade gets this incredible sense of being on the back, on the rib cage of the back body. Haven't done this for a while from this position. You also get your triceps. So if you feel the back of your arm working, kudos. Pausing, holding that arm back there. And then let's bring it down and put your hands down toward the floor again, pressing back. Good. And then let's find the other side. So taking a break if you need to off the wrists, shake it out. Back to hands and knees. Other side, drawing that elbow in and noticing. So even if I didn't have my weight, drawing that elbow in alongside the body, my humerus bone is pulling back or opening up the chest on that side. And then I'm going to extend back. So I'm just really paying attention to without the weight in my hand. And it's only 3 pounds there. You can do 1 pound, a can of beans, a water bottle. Even with this here, just keeping my shoulder blade of sucked in onto the back. It's just how it feels. I can do this work without the weight. Just might be a little more accessible if you're new to it, to have a little weight. Breath, breath. And then bringing your hands back down, feeling both sides here as you press down through the hands. And then go ahead and come back, shake it out. Feels nice to shake it out. Let's take that into what happens in plank. So in plank, are the shoulder blades like really tucked in and sucked in onto the back? Or do they slide out a little bit? Do they slide out a lot? So let's check it out and see. Bringing your hands underneath you, turning one foot under, finding the toes and the ball of the foot. We'll just take a moment here. With one leg stretched back, what can you notice about your shoulders? About that open chest, wide back. So if my chest is coming forward and I'm sinking a little bit versus pushing through my hands, how does that feel? And can I find somewhere where there's a middle ground? Bring that leg down. Let's try the other leg. Just one leg. Breath. So find your fingertips. If your wrists start to get tired, find your knuckles or your fingertips to press down. Knee comes down. Taking a break anytime you need to. I'm going to take that foot back. Take the other foot back. Plank pose. Open chest, wide back. Now it's pretty easy, just like in cat pose, to do a lot of wide back and maybe lose the front. Or maybe you feel pretty balanced. The chest is as open as it can be in this position. See if we can take 2 more breaths. Knees come down. Go ahead and come back into your child's pose. Turn your palms upward. You can wave the fingers in or light fists open and close. Let your head go. Breath, breath. Good. Let's bring our legs all the way through. And then from our seated position, let's take those elbows out again. We did that earlier, right, with the strap. We could use the strap again here. Maybe we will. We'll see. So I've come back off my sit bones. I'm already starting to kind of roll back. I'm on the tail or on the sacrum a little bit. If that's uncomfortable, give yourself more padding or find a spot that is. It changes day to day for me. And so as I work here, I think it'll be just fine. But I'm going to really hold on to the legs. But in that position, right, the tendency might be collapse in the chest. And the elbows, I guess I can collapse in the chest more when my elbows aren't out, right? So the elbows out really help. Going to keep things broad in the back, open in the chest. And then we're going to walk down the legs. Walk down one hand width and pause. Walk down again. Good. And then find your way back up. Good. I'm going to go back to side view. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. Walking down, pausing, walking down again. Notice what's going on with your shoulders. Do they kind of crawl up toward your ears? Is there unnecessarily shoving down of them? Come back up. One more time. Again, elbows kind of working, arms really working. Noticing the chest and the shoulders, upper back. Maybe you see about coming down a little bit more and finding your way back up. Nice. And then let's take the hands to the front of the knees. Walk the legs in a little bit. Still same thing I'd like to do with my upper body. I'm going to start to lift the heels. Lift one foot. Tap that toe back down. Lift the other. Tap it back down. So notice I'm still in that pretty rounded, we call that Pilates C position. rounded in the spine. And I might see if I can balance both toes off the floor, both feet. Broad back, wide chest. Bringing the feet down. All right, it's rolling time. We haven't done rolling like a ball for a while. So rolling like a ball, hands can be on the knees where we just had them, or they can be back behind the legs. So you probably did this as a kid, but you weren't very, and you're probably very embodied actually, really felt things when we were kids. So as you roll back, you might tend to use some momentum. And so you're rolling back and trying to come back up, but you really want to drive it from your belly. But if you're new to this, you may still use your legs. And here's how you might use your legs, right? Lifting them up, bringing them back down, lifting them up. So if that feels nice to try it, if you can do this in a controlled way and you're new or newer to Pilates, it can be kind of nice. But if you'd like to see about getting a little more bang for your buck, a little more belly strength, don't let your knees hinge. So my legs out here, it's still a little easier. And the more that I bring my legs in, the harder it is. Here, I've got to really work my belly to get up. All right, next time you come down, go ahead and roll all the way down. Some support. So support to allow the chest to open, support for the back body. All right, well, then let's take our hands and interlace the fingers. Bring them behind the head. And same thing we've been working with, right? Can I keep an open chest, broad back, wide back with my elbows here? So I bring my elbows way out to the side. What happens to the back? What happens to the front? If I bring them kind of midway, or if I bring them all the way in, what happens to the front? What happens to the back? And if I go middle path, what happens? So this is one of the reasons why I'll often say, so you can find that middle place for the elbows. Nice deep breath. So I've taken my head just off the floor. Let your head be heavy into your hands. And then we're going to see if we can continue to have that open chest, wide back, as we pull the ribs down and in, as we take the head upward. So try not to lead with your nose, with your chin. This is all about the belly pulling in here. And let's add a little work. One leg comes up, the other leg comes up, one leg comes up. Still reaching with my elbows, trying not to collapse the chest. And then let's come back down. Support from the floor. Feels so nice. Elbows find that sweet spot. Ribs pulling down and in. Both knees come up to pause or to balance here. Releasing the tail. Tapping one toe down and then the other. Continue to pull in at the belly. One, 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 one. Both legs come down, upper body comes back. Great. I'm going to grab my strap again. If you don't have it, again, you just imagine you've got a strap wherever we've got a strap, and you'll be good to go. But take that strap kind of behind my seat here, because that's how long my arms are. It may or may not work exactly for you, but you can put it there even underneath your seat. so that it's there for you to grab. Let your neck and chest and back be supported here for a moment. And then lifting the head, you can have your hands here just like we had them, because this is going to get into a little bit of advanced territory. So hands can stay here, and you'll have an opportunity to keep them there or to switch. Those of you that get to that point, I want you to grab your strap. If you'd like to try this out, and hold your strap. You can hold it fairly broad, so broader than the body. And then we could take that strap up and down a little bit. And what this might remind you of is the 100. With the feet down, with the knees lifted, with the feet extended a little bit. Breath. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Legs come down. And upper body comes back. We might not have done quite 10 breaths, but we did do that one just before. That was very, very similar. So we'll take it. Let's go ahead and let things rest again. All right, our strap is right here where we'd like it. So I'm going to take my strap, put it at the bottom of one foot, right behind the ball of the foot. And then I'm going to see the other leg for right now can be bent. Let's do that. I'm going to work a little bit. If we had a TheraBand, we could work the ball of the foot right into your strap. That's one way to do it. Or the strap can just be here at the more of the arch. I want you to reach through the toes and reach to the heel. Your leg does not have to be up at 90 degrees. It can be out here. The strap's just kind of there to help hold your leg. Not, unless you have it at the ball of the foot, you don't really have anything to push against. All right, now let's take that. This time, do extend your lower leg, your other leg. And starting at that 45 degrees here. So I can be nice and straight with my leg, with my knee. Move that strap up just a little bit. And then let the leg be really heavy first into that strap. And what's going on with your upper body? So I'm going to crawl up the strap with my fingers. And I'm going to notice wide chest, broad back. Breath. Breath. I might crawl up some more. I'm just taking my fingers, crawling up. Broad back, wide chest. Reaching through the heel and the ball of the foot. So can the whole foot reach? Straight knee. And if you feel like there's a little bit more there, you might lift your head, lift the upper body, crawl up one more time, come back to the floor, broad back, wide chest. If there's a screaming pull here, back off. Another theme of our day could be, what would you tell a friend who was new to this practice and they were saying, oh, my hamstring and my calf are just screaming? What would you tell them? Self-compassion, right? You'd say, back off a little bit. Good. Let's take that leg down. Place it next to the other leg that's on the floor, noticing. All right, other side. So that leg can stay down. Let's take the other one upward. Doesn't have to be all the way to 90 degrees here. I'm gonna work through that ankle one more time, which actually works my lower leg, through the toes, through the heel. See if you can relax the upper body. And then right at the ball, below the ball of the foot, broad chest, wide back. And then maybe I lift my head, crawl up a little bit more. Maybe that leg comes in a little more, reaching through the whole foot. That's a whole another experiment, isn't it? Can I reach through my heel and the ball of the foot at the same time, keeping the knee nice and straight? Breath. Maybe there's another movement there, maybe not. For this side, for me, this is it. Plenty of sensation. If I were giving a friend some advice, I'd say pause there. So I'm going to tell myself the same. I'm bringing that leg down, taking the strap out of the way. And let's just bring the knees in here. Let the low back really have the floor. I brought my hands out, palms down onto the floor here a little bit. We've done a lot of open chest, broad back. And let's just take the knees a little bit to the side, rotating in the trunk. Using all this core strength, but letting the breath come in here. And then coming back to center. And rotating to the other side a little bit. So I'm actually taking my weight a little bit to the side. I'm not really in the aiming of taking my legs all the way down because I'm keeping my chest open and the back on the floor. So that's kind of my biofeedback is if I can keep my chest open and my other shoulder on the floor, then that's enough. Once that starts getting too light, then I'm going to come back to center. Keep the breath going. Back to center. And then you can rest, either feet on the floor, knees bent, or maybe stretching the legs out. Feet on the floor, knees bent. You could walk your feet out and let the knees tent in toward each other. Let's just take a few breaths here, closing the eyes. Noticing the support of the floor again. Allowing your jaw to soften. Letting that breath come in and out. Just noticing your breath. And you might not have to do anything, right? You probably don't have to do anything. Your body knows what the breath needs to be doing. And then with a sense of curiosity, just letting the next 3 breaths, the exhale, be longer. Exhale's a little longer. And then as you come onto your side, supporting your head with that arm that's there for you. Nice deep breath. And then using your arms and hands, pressing yourself up. And checking in. I wish everyone a wonderful day ahead, full of embodied experience, just bringing ourselves back to the body, getting outside to be in nature, to really see the trees, to feel the or hear the crunch of the ground, bringing you into the present, 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 little by little, or little pieces through the day. So I welcome any questions either now or if you're watching this video later, email, text. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Yeah, thanks, Anne. Have a good day.
See you tomorrow. Hopefully the weather cooperates.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to have some weather?
Yeah, we're supposed to get snow. Some today, some overnight, some tomorrow. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay.
All right. Just great. Great to see you. Bye, Anne.
Bye.
Hi, Chell.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, welcome.
Wait, Chel's here? Hi, Chel.
Hi, Charlotte's
Charlotte's
here.
Thank you, Ingrid. Great class.
Yeah, you're welcome, Shelley. Thank you. Thank you, Judy. Yep.
Oh, there's Judy. Hey, Judy, I've got a question for you. Is she still around?
It looks like she just left. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'll call her.
Okay.
Thank you. Good to see you
Yep.
tomorrow. See you tomorrow, I hope.
Yep. Hope to see you tomorrow too, Jill. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. Yep. Thank you.
All right, I'm out of here.
Mom, you still
Okay. Bye, everybody.